So I thought your name was Billy Bronco, but it's actually Billy Hunter, and you are Billy Hunter, chaplain of the Broncos. Is that right?
That's me.
How long have you had that cushy, cruisy job?
Same to you, you wally head. No, I've been doing that for 14 years.
14 years.
And I actually love it.
Same pay rate as when you started?
They doubled it last year.
Doubled it, eh?
Yeah. It's actually, obviously, it's a non-paid gig, of course, so it's a voluntary thing. So I try and get out there as much as I can, go out there probably at least once a week to training, catch up with them in the dressing room after a game, do weddings, do funerals, do counselling, do whatever they want me to do.
How'd you come by a cushy job like that?
It's a long story, but...
Make it short.
The long short of it all is... I'll get you soon. I'll get you. The long short of it is Wayne Bennett has been the coach at the Broncos for a number of years, up until about 3 or 4 years ago, and he and I used to work in the police service together as PE teachers out at the police academy.
Well, you'd be the only two blokes who worked in the police service. No one else would be working, would they?
You're good. You really lost me now. You're a shocker.
Pick up your ball. Where's your ball? You just need to hold your ball.
And,
you right now?
Yeah, I'm right now. Yeah, so at the end of 1997, the Broncos chaplain was leaving, and an organisation called Sports Chaplaincy Australia in Australia actually appoint chaplains to sporting teams, and they asked Wayne Bennett at the beginning of 98, end of 97, would they be prepared to have a new chaplain, and that chaplain would be Bill Hunter, and he said, of course, because he knew me pretty well. So I started at the beginning of 98.
So did you have written agreements and signed, sealed and witnessed by the JP and the solicitor? And did you have a whole lot of content of job descriptions and what you had to do? Tell us about that part.
None of that. Absolutely none of that. It's a bit like what you're talking about today. It's about being a good bloke and helping everyone else and just trying to be a positive role model around the club, trying to encourage players. You know, I've had opportunity not just with players, but with staff and trainers and managers and coaches to actually invest in their lives as well. So it's not about having some written document, contract and all that sort of stuff. You're out there just doing the work, and obviously, I suppose, I might be the only Christian that those guys get to meet and see. So I suppose, hopefully, they see God through me as well.
Yeah, well, isn't that the best way an Aussie bloke will see Jesus, to see it in another bloke?
Yeah, definitely.
And the kingdom of God is within us, isn't it?
Yeah, give me a go. Yeah, you're not bad.
Unbelievable, these league blokes, aren't they, eh? Unbelievable.
You know,
they have one game a year called the State of Origin. They go on about it for the whole year, and then they stuff up all their good players, and they know good they're all broken down after the State of Origin. You keep going.
You're right, you're finished?
At least it's better. At least I know a bit about that. The Roar, I don't know what the Roar do. Do they just roar or what?
I don't know, mate. They won the premiership, so they've won 35 or 135 games in a row, so they're going all right, mate.
They've only scored a total of 35 goals in 35 games. A bit slow, aren't they?
That's your opinion.
Anyway, let's get back to the real part.
Yeah, well, talking, you know, just like even a fellow like Darren Lockyer, and most of us probably know Darren Lockyer's a great footballer, not so much a great bloke, but yeah, who's Darren Lockyer? You got some AFL real idiots here, haven't you? Eh? But anyhow,
we prefer buffheads.
Buffheads, that'll do me. But yeah, someone like that, a lot of people don't see the other side to Darren Lockyer. Like, he just helps people so much. And he's out there helping the underprivileged, and it doesn't get publicised. You know, and even as recent as just a couple of months ago, I was interviewing Darren at Amunia Chapel Service. It's a place for guys rehabbing from alcohol addiction, drug addiction, etc. And I asked him in front of about 250 people, you know, where do you and God stand? And he just said,
he actually laughed at you. I was there, and he laughed at you, and he actually looked at you and smiled, and he said, well, yes, Billy, I grew up in a good family. I had all the good things, but he said there was no God in my family. But he said, since I've been putting up with you for 14 years, yes, I do believe in God. And that was a mighty thing for an Aussie man. Like, he is a true champion in his sporting field, but the fact was, you went the journey with him. That's Aussie manhood. Get in the trenches with your bloke and don't tell him what to do. Live life with him And you've actually done that, and that's a testimony to the sort of bloke you are. You showed him the journey, and he said, Billy, and since I've had a little baby, he said, I talk to God a lot more. And then he said, and when the big game's over down here, wham, bang, slam, he said, there's a big party going to go on up there with a big fella. Any of the boys here put their hands up and witness to what I said is the truth? That were there that night? They were there. They were actually there that night, and they heard it, didn't we? And that's our Darren Lockyer, our champion rugby league bloke.
Yeah, and like he even said on that night, he said, I actually feel closer to God as a result of the friendship with me. And I went, hang on a minute, I can't remember too many God chats in there. But it's just like you say, just walk with them and, be the role model, live the life, and they look at you and say, well, I want to live that sort of life.
And those blokes come up to you from time to time when they're under a lot of pressure and say, say one for me, Bill.
Oh, all the time.
Goes on all the time.
Get text messages all the time about prayer requests and just helping them out and living the life with them. Just
living the dream and licking the cream. And the mobile phone is so important. Simon Black gets a text message, 2 text messages every month about the shed night. Webke gets 2. They say, leave my name on because they want to be connected with what's going on. And they don't want any favour or anything like that. So if you're not texting a bloke a message and giving him a verse or some sort of an encouragement, get yourself organised today, learn how to text the message, and that's a very powerful way we Aussie men connect. Hey, look, this game of rugby league, I would like, when I was up there at Moonya that night, we had Lockie there, and you went on about this state of origin, the Billy Hunt, what's his name, that bloke?
Slater.
Billy Slater. Who's he play for? The try in the second state of origin. Now, you went on about that. Look, we haven't got Lockie here tonight, but could you get your ball and come down here, and could you replay that play?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Just a couple of things, Watto. Just get your facts straight. It's afternoon. It's not night. And when you ask a question, let me answer it.
You can tell on Sunday afternoon he's a preacher, can't you? But you know the church this bloke runs on Sunday night, he calls it the Sportsman's Church, and they blow a whistle before you go in, and at half time they blow the whistle and you've got to go out and you have oranges at half time, and then when you go back in you've got to change sides. True story. The Sportsman's Church. He's crazy, these league blokes.
Just to set the scene, you can just shut up just for a couple of minutes. Just to set the scene, everyone, rugby league followers, come on. Here we go. There you go. Here we go.
Could you imagine how long church would be if it was like the bloody AFL? Be there
all day. Just think what church would be like if we blokes let loose and had a bit of fun like we're doing now. Why are we getting screwed up? Why are we holding on? Why are we holding back on here in this big turbocharge? God gave us this in here not to get it screwed up and let it just die. And he's bringing us alive now. Come on. Come, well, let's go and play this game. What else do you want to say?
I thought this was my segment for a little while. You're not bad. Anyhow, just to set the scene, state of origin, as we know, New South Wales, Queensland, very tribal. 3 games, best of 3. Queensland before this year had won 5 series in a row. Woo! Anyhow, the second game of the Origin, New South Wales pretty well wiped Queensland. The third... You're kidding. They're even owning up to follow New South Wales. Anyhow, the third game, Queensland absolutely smashed New South Wales. So, thank you. So when you look back on the series, the actual series was won in game 1. And if you remember game 1, it was a very, very close encounter. Now, Queensland held, I suppose, the aces in the first half, and I think we led by about 10 points going into the second half. And Queensland were all over New South Wales. New South Wales had other ideas in the second half, though, and they came out fighting, and they worked really hard. They worked so hard, they actually got into the lead, 2 points ahead of Queensland. And at that stage, it didn't look that flash for Queensland, but Queensland did one thing. They looked to their leader. And actually, Darren Lockyer called this play before it actually happened. And I've got some guys. Daryl Pittman out here. This is alias Darren Lockyer.
Let's hear it for Darren Lockyer. Woohoo! We're going to do it down here.
Yep.
You might